Hi guys, how are you today? So I have a special guest today. Now, if you if you watch 90 Day Fiance and Housewives, which you guys do, you might know who he is, but he's a how would I describe you? A radio disc jockey? What would you say? What's your title, Dom?
Usually they'll say, I did start on radio, but you could say a celebrity interviewer and also D-list reality stars. So celebrities are,
Celebrity.
Celebrity.
Yeah, you interview celebrities. So as we wait for people to get in, let's something they can't hear me. Hold on.
You are a little choppy, Sharrell.
They're saying they can't hear me.
Hey, Dom. Okay, I see that.
Andrea, let me know if you can hear. I'm going to carry on. Okay, so listen, guys. Dom has a fascinating background. You're a radio host. You're a publicist. You are an interviewer. Now you're a YouTuber and an Instagrammer. Did I leave anything out?
He might be a stripper, too. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what he do. I mean, he all over them there.
Oh no!
Oh, he'll come back. I think we have an internet problem. Somebody said they can hear you though, Sharrell.
Okay, good. Here he's back. Okay, hold on. I don't know what's going on today, Dom. Can you hear us now?
I don't know. It's me. I can hear. Yeah. Did I get booted? Am I here?
Yeah, you're here. Okay, so you've got a fascinating background. So you were a publicist for how long, and who did you represent?
Okay, so I was I'm still a publicist. I've been doing it for 15 years. This is the 15th year. And I have worked with, I could talk about the things that have been public of who I've worked with. So I worked with a lot of hip hop people, like older hip hop people, like the Yin Yang Twins and Warren G. And I did a lot of work with, DMX was someone that I worked.
Oh, he's crazy.
That was a lot of work to try to like represent him and kind of clean things up.
Were you worked with DMX like in the early? Did you work with DMX in the early 2000s when everything was going on?
It was. No, it was after that. It was about 10 years ago now. But just trying to like rebuild. He was getting arrested quite a bit, which made it difficult. But I did my best to try to spin things and stuff like that. And then I've worked with some Instagram people or Snapchat, like Dr. Miami and Lexi Pantera, and people like that are on Instagram and social media. And then I work with everyone, just everyday people that are just trying to promote. But I go to a lot of the events, and that's kind of how the show started. I've got pictures with hundreds of celebrities. I worked in film. I worked on Talladega Nights, and I worked on a dozen different reality shows. Like Deal or No Deal, Making the Band, So You Think You Could Dance, stuff like that. And then I started my company. Yeah, so I worked in the industry, and then I did PR. And then in 2016, I was offered my own show out of a station out of Chicago, and then also on iHeart. And I did radio forever, and it was always audio. I've interviewed Gene Simmons, Whoopi Goldberg, Bill Cosby,
I saw that.
Amber Rose. Yeah.
Oh,
a lot of people. And then ironically, last year I was doing Zoom with So from 90 Day Fiance, Usman. And he was like, "Why are we doing this on Zoom?" And I was like, "I don't know. I mean, how else do we do it?" And he's like, "Let's go on Instagram Live." So we did it on Instagram Live. It was my first time doing a live interview with comments. And it was rough because people were not used to my line of questioning. So they were very mean to me, but I thought it was hilarious. They were just like, "Why is he asking about that? Look at this guy's face. He's fat. Look at his teeth." And they were just like, yeah, I was like, holy shit, like this is difficult with people insulting you, but I thought it was great.
Now, before I get into why I wanted you
all
on
my
the
interviews,
show,
it's a lot more fun.
It really is. Before I get into that, just out of curiosity, I need you to know Talladega Nights is one of my favorite movies of all time. And did you see DMX? Yeah, it was so good. I love it. And
Yeah.
did you see DMX on Iyanla Fix My Life?
Okay, I actually worked with him during that, and there's a statement I had to put out because of that. If you Google me and my name and Ayanla and DMX, you'll probably see it. It was years ago, but that was watched that, and I was like, not go well for my client. So I think I put out a statement like where I try to spin it and make it her fault. And that's what publicists do. I was like, well, the show's called Ayanla Fix My Life, and she's supposed to fix people's life, and she didn't fix his life at all. So it's her fault. That's just what publicists do. It's like, really, I know that my client didn't do the best on there, but that's what we do is we try to spin it. And I was like, she didn't fix it. Yeah.
Did you just say you try to make it her fault?
I try to make it her fault. Yeah. I mean, that's what you got to do when you have a client, and it's like, well, you said you would fix his life. His life isn't fixed, So sometimes, I mean, I knew it was a stretch, but that's the job, Yeah.
Oh my God, Dom, that's the funniest thing I ever heard. Yeah. You're hilarious.
Okay. Blame shifter. Yeah. Professional blame shifter.
So we came into your channel, or we found out who you were when you started interviewing. So, Perry found you first when you started interviewing a lot of people from 90 Day Fiance. But the catch is you say you never seen the show, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like half an episode and then I get bored, and so I mean, I've tried. I don't know. It bores me, but I like the people. The cast doesn't really watch the show either. A lot of them I'll ask. So but I know that the fans are great. They're a little nuts, but they're very dedicated. I like the fans. I like the people. It's just also I have a little beef with the network too. So I don't have any problems with anybody. Yeah, my only problem I have is with TLC because I'm banned. I'm banned from doing interviews with them.
Wait, what? Wait, you have to tell us what happened. What?
Okay.
What happened?
Well, yeah. So it started, I think, in 2019, and I interviewed Ashley Smith. It was my first 90-day interview, and then after that, I did David and Annie, and then Dean from Pillow Talk.
Okay.
And then what happened? Yeah, I caused a big problem. Like, so I don't watch the show, so I would just Google things and whatever I saw, I would just ask, and I would try to be all confident, like, well, I'd act like I knew everything. And I was like, and I asked Dean about someone named Tim, who I had no idea who it was. I just saw an article, and I was like, do you think that Tim is gay? And I don't even know, And so I asked him that. I have no problem with Tim, believe it or not. And I just saw an article about someone said something, and then Dean's response was like, he's just trying to be funny. He was like, yeah, man, I don't think he's got any balls between his legs because of the way he sits. And I didn't even know what he was talking about because I'd never seen the show. But then that caused a big problem. And then they started beefing on Instagram, going back and forth, Dean and Tim. And then Dean disappeared from the show. And a lot of people blamed me. They were like, it's that interview you did with Dom Nati. And then TLC was like upset, I think, because I'm starting problems that weren't there. So, and then they said, that's it. So my friends from the show are like, hey, they said that if we go on an interview with you, it'll break our NDA, like no interviews with Dom Nati. So I've done about 20. I've done like 15 after that, but it's like a rebellious thing, like where they're like, I'm doing it anyway, so, but that's always been, I've always been irritated, but they're not the only network that's kind of banned me because of the, I don't know. I like asking, well, the same way you do. It's like, you don't want to ask questions that are boring. And if I could start a beef, that's all right. As long as it's interesting,
Perry is absolutely right. You are hysterical funny. Okay. So Perry, why I wanted you on the show is Perry brought me this interview with you and Jeffrey. And you say on the interview, I'm going to be extremely childish right now, and I'm going to pretend to be Tim. What is this beef? What is going on here between you and Tim Malcolm? Okay,
so what happened is that all started, and then Dean left the show, and then and then I never did 90 Day again until I interviewed Jeffrey last year. I was really like, they were banned. They're like, no interviews. Jeffrey got, I guess, uninvited to the tell-all,
Yeah,
And then
right.
he was like, I'll do an interview with you. I was like, oh, this is from that 90 Day Fiance show. Like, like he was like, it's okay because he was not on the tell-all. So we did it. And then I started doing a bunch of people again. And then out of nowhere, now I'm doing this cook-off with Jeffrey. We're good friends now. And he just starts stirring it up like to be funny while we're doing this live. And he was like, hey, didn't you get someone fired from Pillow Talk? And I was like, dude, why are you doing this? I was like, don't. I was like, I've been in the doghouse with this network for a year. And he's like, yeah, you did, right? He was like, you got him fired from the show. And I was like, well, that's the rumor. And he was like, you did. You got Dean fired because of your interview. So he starts that. And then he says that, he's like, I hooked up with Veronica a few times. And he's just starting shit, like just to be fun. And I was like, bro, why are you doing this? Like, because I already have so many problems with this show. And I was like, this is not going to help. So of course these blogs come out and they're like saying that Jeffrey's saying this. And then Tim responded for 30 minutes on his Twitch. And he was like, who's this guy, Jeffrey? And, he was like, I don't even know who he is. And he was like, but I guess he's got really blue eyes and he's got a great body. He's like, but I've never really heard of him. And I was like, what is going on? Then he was like, you know what I think it is? He was like, it's that interviewer. That's the same interviewer that started the problems with me and Dean. And now he's starting problems. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't start it. It was all like, I would admit.
Oh no. That guy is funny.
That's
You didn't
crazy.
tell me he's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. He's got to come back with that story. Here he is. Please keep going. This is hilarious.
Okay. So I don't know why I'm getting booted, but I was like, I would admit it if I did. I was like, bro, I was like, Jeffrey just did this. This was all him. So he's now accusing me of doing this, and then a lot of times the girls are like, guys, take your shirt off. So me and Jeffrey took our shirts. I don't have I have the dad bod, but a lot of girls are into it. So he's got his shirt off and I have my shirt off. We're just wearing our apron. And then Tim said something about that. He was like, and this dude interviewer is like asking him to take his shirt off. And I was like, well, wait a minute, dude. I was like, one of the girls said to take the shirt off. I was like, what are you trying to say? Like that I'm asking I was like, did Jeffrey take his shirt off? So I mean, anyway. So then Jeffrey, was like, are you going to respond to this? He went on for 30 minutes about you, and then he was like, yeah, let's do it. And he called me a few minutes before. He's like, I think I'm going to just dress up like Tim. And then we could do like an interview that way. You interview it as Tim. And I was like, bro, is this a good idea? So it was his idea.
Oh my God.
So I didn't know what he was going to look like until I hit, until he requested it. So then we did a 30-minute, interview as him as Tim, and he was acting. He's like, I got my legs crossed, and he was like,
it was hysterical. It was hysterical. Yeah. Oh my God.
In all reality, I don't have a problem with it. It just was a weird series of events where it's just that's how it went. But I'd love to interview Tim, but I don't think he's going to do it. I think he would say no. But yeah, that's kind of I start a lot of problems. I don't even watch the show. So it's
okay, wait. How do you interview someone when you haven't watched the show? Would you just start like how does this process work, Dom? How does it work?
Okay. See, you don't have Sharrell, I can teach you. You don't have to watch these shows anymore. So you just like for about 15, 20 minutes, I'll just look up and I'll get the name. I'll just Google like what did I do the other like that Welcome to Plathville show. I did one interview and I'll just Google that and then I'll see if there's any controversy. And then, like if there's couples, I'll just be like, oh, well, what do you think about what this person and this person? And then I'll just try to be real confident. But every once in a while, I will get the names wrong. And I'll be like, so you're dating? Yeah. And I'll ask people how they're doing since their relationship ended with Tony. And they're like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, that's when I'm like, oh, shit. And I was like, I'll misread the article, but it's okay because the comments will help me out. And I'm very open that I don't really know what. Yeah. So sometimes they'll be like, no, Dom. Like, she was like, and I get like, they're like, who's Tony? I was like, I don't know. He was in the article I read. So, or sometimes I'll make up couples and just kind of catch them off guard. But yeah,
my gosh,
I don't know. I've gotten good at it. Yeah,
you're hilarious.
Yeah, just wing it. Just wing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I like that.
You didn't tell me he was hilarious. You are hilariously funny. So
I said, no, Sharrell, he's out there. You're like, well, what should I say? I said, you can say anything to him. He'd say it to himself.
Yeah. Say whatever you want.
Okay, so that might work with 90 Day Fiance people. But the housewives, you have to know something, don't you? I'm talking about Wendy and Candace, and you're getting really hot. I mean, really housewives that are in their prime. How do you interview them?
Well, okay. So, I've done, I think 16 or 17 housewives. I've interviewed, like Vicky Gunvalson, Teddy Mellencamp. Yeah. They were great. Let me think. I can't remember all of them. Some of them from the New Jersey one. I can't remember the names. I gotta watch the show, but they're all very nice, and Ramona Singer from New York, and they're great. And really, it's just I'll look at the last few articles. I'll put in the name of the show, like at Google, and then whoever they have a problem with. But then I also have some consultants where I'm like, hey, I'm interviewing this person. And then they'll ask these questions and be like, I just want to know who they're beefing with. So I try to, I'm really transparent, people ask me, well, why do you do this? And 100% honestly is I'm a publicist. When I do these interviews, they will put the Domenick Nati show in a news article. I've been in Forbes, CNN, Fox News, they've all covered my interviews. And that's really all I want. So instead of just pretending, I try to be really transparent. I was like, guys, I don't really care. I'm just doing this for exposure for me, And honestly, people take it better because they're like, well, thanks for not lying. I was like, guys, I don't really care about the show because the people get very upset, and I appreciate that. They're like, they lied to you for an hour. I was like, that's fine. I was like, they can lie. I was like, as long as there's headlines, that's really all I'm going for. So I mean, but honestly, I think if you're upfront, I think people take it better. If I'm sitting there guys, I love this show and I'm trying to get to the bottom of this and expose the truth. I was like, I don't really care if you lie to me for an hour, as long as it gets picked up by major news sources and my name is in it. The truth. Yeah.
You're hysterical.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the best part about being a publicist?
Honestly, it's I love the challenge of having a client, and I've had people that are troubled, that are looking to rebrand, and then people that are just unexposed, that are looking for to get their name out there. So I think that the best part is just, I don't know, for me, for some reason, I get a thrill out of pitching something and watching people get a story out or a statement, and in that part of it, just a chance to represent someone, to say, here's something that the media has put out. It's actually not true, or it's very one-sided, and just the opportunity to, just an opportunity to give people a chance to hear the other side, because it's only fair, whether it's true or not. Like I said, I'm not an attorney, or I'm not a detective. I'm an attorney. You know what I'm saying? So it's I ask my client their side, and I don't dig into it to see if it's true. It's just, this is what there's, because I mean, it's not my business, to be honest. My business is to represent them, and that's their truth, And it's I'm, even sometimes I'm like,
oh, hysterically funny. He's hysterical. I love the part where he said Iyanla didn't do her job. She was supposed to change his life.
His life, yeah.
Here we go.
I was just telling Perry, I love it. You said Iyanla didn't do her job. She was supposed to change his life.
It's Iyanla's fault. Yeah. Sometimes I gotta say things. I'm like, that's pretty ridiculous. But you gotta say something. That's the job. I gotta make it. Yeah, I gotta say something.
What's the worst part of the job?
What's that?
What's the worst part of the job? You're never off?
Well, I mean, you got to deal with celebrities. I mean, it's just the ego, I mean, it's like, it's not easy. And you gotta, I mean, sometimes it's just, you deal with people, and it's not that they're bad people. It's just, that's the way their life has been, where it's like, I can't reason with you. It's just, I mean, they're just difficult people to work with because they're celebrities, so it's like, it's not like talking to someone that's rational. Sometimes they're like, well, this is what I'm going to do. And if you don't want to do this for me, then I'll find someone else. And that's just how it is. You're replaceable. Yeah. I mean, so it's like, and then you're sitting there knowing this is a bad idea, but it's their life, so that's the difficult thing, is just, it's just the status, it's the ego. It's, I mean, it's just, they're not easy to deal with. And they won't listen to you a lot of times until it's too late. But then you just, you don't rub it in their face. It's like, yeah, it was a bad idea, and then you got to fix a problem that you could have been prevented.
Is there a difference is there a difference between reality stars and regular celebrities?
Well, yeah. I mean, reality stars aren't celebrities. I mean, they're, it's,
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
I think, well, I'll tell you, there's a big difference. Like, a lot of it has to do with their age. Sorry. I've met some people on reality TV in their 20s, and then they're like, I'm going to be irrelevant forever. It's like, yeah, but then you meet someone, like, you meet someone in their 40s or 50s that happens to be on a show, and it's like, like, even like when I met, I'm good friends with David and Annie. Like, I've been to David's house.
Mm-hmm. Oh, bad connection.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Great interview. This guy's hysterical. I absolutely love him. I get it now. Absolutely love him.
Are you there? I don't know why it keeps kicking me out. Okay.
Yeah.
It might be TLC.
It's it's probably, that's why I blame everything on them. It's always them. Yeah. But I've been to his house, and David was very realistic. He was like, listen, it's not going to be forever, and we're going to enjoy this. And that comes with his age, where it's, it's true, the way he's feeling. And so with reality stars, either they're young and they think it's forever, or they're older and they're like, this could be fleeting. And then with other, like celebrities that, they're like this, they know this is for life. If you've, gone triple platinum and won Grammys and all that stuff, you're going to be relative to some degree, for life, depending on if you mess it up or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's it.
Without saying the names, have you met any or interviewed any celebrities or reality TV stars that you didn't like, without saying the name?
I'll say the name. Yeah, I didn't like. My least favorite interview was Gene Simmons from Kiss, and it's just, first of all, if like, he would like you, but he doesn't like he doesn't really like talking to guys that much. He doesn't take pictures with guys and stuff, I've heard, and he just wants to take pictures with women, and then also a lot of it is a little bit of my fault, like, where it's, I'm not a fan. I listen to rap music. I don't really listen to whatever that is, rock, or and yeah. I try to ask goofy questions, and he just didn't think I was funny, and he didn't want to talk to anything. He didn't want to talk about anything except for what he was promoting. So it was just kind of like, I get kind of like, I don't know. He was just like boring. After I'd ask a question, he would just say, he was like boring. It's like,
he did that? That is rude.
Yeah, I was like, what do you think of?
Oh my God. I don't know what I would do if someone did me like that. Wasn't that terrible?
I probably would say, look, why don't you tell me what's not boring?
I would never want to talk to that person again. Yeah. I was telling Perry, I don't know what I would do if someone said boring when I'm asking questions.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. It made me laugh, and then I was like, but it was kind of bothered me. So then I just started fucking with him. I was just like, what do you think of Justin Bieber's new album? Because just the whole interview is just both of us hating each other, but we just kind of got through it. But it's, in the end too, like, it's not even, it doesn't really bother me that much, because it's still good. Like, even when Whoopi Goldberg hung up on me, I was like, there's really nothing you
really hang up on you.
Yeah.
What happened?
We did this interview around Christmas time. I think it was 2 years ago, and then right before her publicist patched me in, she was like, "Okay, and again, this is about her sweater line." And I was like, "What?" It's like sweater line. Whoopi Goldberg makes sweaters? I was like, I don't have any sweater questions. And I certainly don't have sweater questions for 20 minutes. I was like, hey, so I was like, tell me about the new sweaters. I was like, well, what kind of fabrics can we see this year? I was like, I don't know. So then I was just sitting there, and she talked for like 2 minutes about the sweaters. And then I just had this thought. I was like, it would be funny is if I just throw in like a real curveball. And I was like, that's great. Looking forward to the sweaters. So Me Too movement's really big right now. Whoopi, have you ever been sexually harassed? And then and I don't know. I just thought if I ask it like that drastic, then it would be really.
Oh my
God. I thought that would be a way to spice up the interview. And she just was like, no, honey. I was like, no, never sexually harassed. And then I was like, well, a letter publicist jumps in. She's like, Domenick is like, yeah. She's like, why are you asking about that? This is about the sweater. I was like, okay, well, can I ask any other questions? And they just hung up. And I was and I was like, you know what? It was worth it. I'm not doing 40 minutes on sweaters. Nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody.
Oh my God.
There's no sweater out there that you want to hear a 20-minute interview about. Trust me.
Oh my God. Yeah. You are charming. You are hilarious. That is so funny. And I can't believe it's true.
It's true. Yeah, it's on my YouTube. Yeah.
I mean,
it was on Fox, I think. Fox did something about it. And they're like, we reached out to Whoopi with no comment. They're like, it was like, I think it was Variety magazines and something. And that was like, comment. I was like, I'd like to interview her again. I was like, yeah, I don't think she's got it.
Oh my God. Yeah. So listen, with your unique style of interviewing, what publications have you made it to?
Honestly, and that's been the greatest thing. I mean, I know that I think it was last year or the year before, Forbes did 2 articles. Well, because I interviewed Todd Chrisley from Chrisley Knows Best. Did you ever see? Yeah. That went very bad, Sharrell. It was a bad one.
No, you have to tell me what happened really quick. What happened?
That was the one that Forbes wrote about, and CNN. I asked him if he was gay, just because that was, and I don't care if he is. It's just that's the question, and then his response was very unique. He was like, you know what, I'm flattered that I can get on both ends. I was like, so when he said that, I think at the time, it was on Entertainment Tonight and E! News and CNN wrote about it. And I was like, okay, well, someone finally asked him, about that. But then I asked him about these allegations about tax evasion.
Yeah. What would you say?
So, I mean, and this again, I just Googled it right before I went on with him because I'd never seen that show either. And I was like, well, you're being accused of tax evasion and stuff. And he just was, he started going into it. He was like, I don't think the federal government has a problem with me because I pay $1 million a year in taxes. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, that's a lot. And then he did that. And then that became a big problem. And then if I could show you this, and then like a year later, I got a call from a news station in Atlanta.
Okay.
And they said, we just want you to know that we're going to use your interview on the news tonight because the IRS has used your interview in the indictment.
Oh my God.
And I was like, excuse me?
In the indictment?
Yeah. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, Todd's going to be arrested. And I was like, because of the things he confessed in your interview. I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, so I called the IRS office in Georgia. And I called them and I was like, hey, I don't know. I don't actually even really know what an indictment is. And I was like, I called the office in the IRS and I was like, hey, I don't really know who to talk to, but I have a radio show. And I heard that one of my interviews was used in this indictment. I was like, can I get that email to me? So they did. So yeah, sure as shit. It was right there. It was there. And I guess it led to like his arrest. And I honestly, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm blocked on social media. I tried to find him on Twitter, but I've been blocked.
I tell you what, I won't be going on your show.
Dumb.
You gotta be careful, Perry.
Oh my
It's not really that I'm that smart. It's really that I'm that dumb. I was just like,
oh my God. You are hysterical. Well, then, since we're talking about interviews that went wrong, what was the biggest interview that went wrong besides Whoopi? That's got to be the worst, right?
I would say, the three that went wrong: the Whoopi, the Todd Chrisley one, and then I did this interview with this Christian artist named Lauren Daigle, and she's a singer. And I asked her about, I don't know if you ever heard of her, but she was doing on the charts and stuff, and she's really big. And then I asked her, she was on Ellen. So I asked her about like what she thought of homosexuality, if she thought it was a sin. And then she said the people should look up in the Bible and, decide for themselves. And apparently that was the wrong answer. And then that caused a huge problem with so people started like playing her music in churches, and like they were writing me all these really long messages. We're like, Domenick, I'm a pastor. And I heard your interview, and I can answer this question for you. I was like, I don't really care about your answer, but I was specifically asking her. It was just very long, and it was crazy. It was, and then people were attacking me, and it's like, it's very wild sometimes. Yeah, I also had someone say that I guess I don't know who they're talking about. Someone that I interviewed was like is accused of murder, and they're like, since you gave her a platform, Domenick, you are just as guilty.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I don't know where you got your degree. But if I interview someone and they go on to commit murder, not an accessory to that crime, I'm not sure.
Oh my God.
It's actually not accurate. No, just because I asked her questions. Yeah.
Oh, Domenick, you are the funniest person. Have you ever thought about doing stand-up?
I've thought about it a little bit, and honestly, the biggest thing is that you don't really make much money. It's like you sit there and do these like, well, I mean, not in the beginning. I don't know. I've thought about some. Yeah, my friends thought I should do that, but it's like you usually go to like these shitty clubs and you get like, 50, So I don't know. This is mine. I'll just do it here. Yeah. If you have so many subscribers, this is way better than like shitty bars. Yeah.
So you just opened.
I'm sorry, Sharrell. Maybe they accused you and blamed you for it because it was your questioning that drove her to murder.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, so that sort of makes you an accessory.
That's true. In that case, then they were right. Then I probably have a warrant out for my arrest. That's true. Yeah. Perry cracked the case. Yeah.
What made you open Instagram and do you have a YouTube channel also?
Yeah, the YouTube is Dom Nati Show. It was a lot of audio clips I've really kind of done everything the wrong way, to be honest. Like I have my, I had my company, they offered me the show, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just do a radio show. And I would just do it, and then I saw a lot of people doing video, and I was like, that's all right. It's just that's what was offered to me, So the YouTube, it's got like 2 million total views, I think, or maybe like a little less. Which is not bad for audio clips. But if I would have been doing video interviews, it would have been a lot more effective. So I just kind of started doing that a few months ago. Actually, I think Jeffrey was my first one last year. So I wasn't really putting a lot of effort into it, to be honest, because it wasn't really making any money. So I just did it for fun, and just a way to, and that's why I kind of stirred up, because I was like, well, the only way I can make money is if I get into Google News and, like they cover this and then, and then I can help my PR business. But now it's, it's become, I think, bigger than the business. So it's, I'm putting a little more effort into it.
Yeah. I mean, you've done a lot of interviews with so many people. And did I already ask you who were your favorite? I know I said who was the worst, but who was the best?
My favorite was Bill Cosby. I interviewed Bill Cosby before all of these allegations, and I'm 42 years old. I grew up watching the Cosby Show. I love Bill Cosby, and
Did he go?
Oh, you went. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me now.
Okay,
Yeah,
now.
good.
Okay. Sorry, my son called me. I interviewed Bill Cosby, and it was just, I'm sure a lot of people don't like him now, but it was just awesome. Like, I'd ask him a question, and then there'd be like this long pause, and he'd be like, "It was 1984." It was just like, and I'm like on the phone, like, "Oh my God, dude!" It's just, but I loved it because that's him, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think. Are you there?
Yeah. You must have got another phone call.
Yeah, that's my son wondering.
Let me ask you this. So, since he was your favorite and it was before all these allegations, were you surprised when the allegations came out?
I was surprised. Yeah, I was. I mean, it's like you're just like, no, you know. I mean, but then also you don't know, just because you like someone on a TV screen doesn't really mean much, but it's still disappointing, you know, because it's like you just like, if you like someone as an actor, as a personality, it doesn't mean you know anything about their personal life, you know. So it's but it's disappointing. But then, you know, with that, at first I was like, well, maybe not, but with the volume of women, I was like, well, that's a lot, you know. And then and I'm actually I'm not a complete feminist, but I'm very much into I know that this happens a lot. I know that women are mistreated and used, and they feel like they don't have a voice. So I was happy that it got exposed. And you know, I guess it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Another reality TV show that we cover on this channel is Love After Lockup, or the new name is Life After Lockup. You've seen the interview quite a few of those people, right?
Yes, I interviewed Lizzie, Marcelino, and
Brittany,
Glorietta.
I remember Glorietta.
Yeah, Dylan and Tracy and who's the guy I just interviewed? Guy from Houston.
Quaylen.
Yeah, Quaylen. Yeah. So I think that's all of them, if I remember right. That's everyone I can remember. Yeah.
Wow. Now, Tracy has been on the show. She lives in Vegas. She has been on the show several times. Did you enjoy interviewing her?
I thought Tracy was great. I really enjoyed that. There was nothing I asked her that was off the table, and I really enjoyed it. I thought she was very transparent, and that's always the best. You don't have to be, you know, like even when I asked her, and this is already out there. You know, I asked her, I was like, well, tell us about your sobriety. And I honestly thought that she was just going to say, yeah, I'm doing well. And she was like, well, she could have just lied and said, yeah, sobriety's going great. She's like, you know, I mean, I'm really definitely like doing meth less than I used to. And I was like, oh, okay, so you're still doing meth. And she's like, yeah, but I forget it's in my purse most of the time. And I was like, she's just like once a week. And she's like, yeah, that's it. Like once a week, you know? And yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like, that's the truth. Like she could have lied to me. I would obviously have no idea. But I was like, I mean, obviously, yeah, I was like, good for her, you know, and obviously that was a headline, and it did, you know, people were like, Tracy still smokes meth, you know, or whatever. But that really wasn't the point. Is like, nobody would have known, you know. And I was like, well, that's cool. I like that she did that, you know, because that's the truth, and I think it'll help her. The other, you know, it's better than lying. So I thought it was a great interview, and she left nothing off the table. And then I'm kind of friends with her, and then Jen Bailey came in. During the interview, it was like writing comments and also put comments in the box. And she was like, "Hi, you know." And then Jen comes into my lives, and you know, I'm kind of friends with everybody. It's an awkward situation, and sometimes I go live, and they'll both come in, and it's like, "Hey, everyone," you know. And I go, yeah. And I do lives for fun at night, you know, and we just screw around. So that's kind of the good thing about not watching the shows. It's like,
you don't watch Locked Up either.
No, I don't. No,
But you get Jen and Tracy, and you don't watch the show?
No, I didn't really quite understand what was going on. Like, to be honest, I was like, this is because I didn't know. I'll pull up questions in the box. I was like, this is from Jen Bailey. And then like everyone starts commenting. I was like, hello, Tracy, I'm here. I was like, okay, I mean, I'm so stupid. I was like, this is someone that's here to see you. It's like, no, Dom. I was like, no. I didn't. Like, I'm just so oblivious.
Gosh.
It's like, yeah, like people are patting me on the head. Like, no, Dom. I was like, she's not here to see. That's what I was like.
No. You have to do stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, you had no idea about Tracy and Jen.
No, I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, because I think even on the live, I was like, oh, this is his new. Okay, this is the new girl. I was like,
oh, okay.
I was like, oh, this is awkward. This is an awkward moment. Okay, I get it now.
It's an awkward moment. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm making it worse. Is what I'm doing. Okay. Yeah.
You're hysterical, Dom. Oh my gosh. We got to have you back on the show. Oh my gosh. Perry was right. I mean, I had heard about you last year, but Perry watched you all the time. And then he brought that little, I don't know, skit that you and Jeffrey did. And I was like, no, he's got to come on.
Another good thing about Dom, he got great stamina. Okay. When I say stamina, as far as interviewing, staying focused, because some people he interviewed Paul. Okay, so I felt sorry for Dom for a second because he would ask the question, it don't get answered, and then he'll ask it again. But then we know how Paul gets.
Yes.
Paul went from, hey, so he said, well, she seeing other men? Okay, let me get the baby. Let me get the milk. Oh yeah, when I was born and raised. Now, but he stayed fast. I mean, he probably smoked 3 cigars waiting on the answer. Okay, so. He sat there and waited, but then when he finished and
Did he finally answer?
No, because of Dominique's stamina. He came back. Okay, well, so she was seeing other men. Oh yeah.
He said, yeah, but he's got to look them up. He's got to do a background check on them first.
Yeah.
We got there. It was worth the wait. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what was amazing about that whole thing?
What?
When y'all first sat down, I said maybe I could turn it off because he's not going to get nowhere with this. You asked him about that. He's like, well, no, I'm not going to get into that. That's her own personal business. And then you asked about something different. Oh, yeah. I mean, she can go out and see who she want to see. And then as long as when she goes, she'll come and tell me she go see this person. I do a background check on her. No, Dominic is really breaking it down by sitting here just talking to this guy. He's going to tell Perry everything.
That's so funny. Oh, my God.
That's,
Paul is out there. No offense, Paul, if you're watching. Interview.
He also showed me that he has his miscarried baby in the refrigerator. Did you see that part, Perry?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he showed it to me. He shows it on that interview.
What are you talking about, Dom? He showed it to you?
Oh yeah. I asked him. I said, well, that's what's great about the comments is someone was like, ask what's in the refrigerator, and I was like, what is she talking about? And then I asked him, I said, what with this miscarried baby from 2 years ago? I was like, where is it? He was like, oh, it's in the refrigerator. And I was like, and then it popped in my head. I was like, don't you dare. And I was like, yeah, let me see it. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, he pulled it out. It's in a jar. It's in a jar. It's like it looks like just blood, and he's.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Gosh.
Sorry, guys. But
my God. Oh my! I knew Paul was out there, but this is even out there.
It's right there by the condiments. Yeah, for 2 years.
Damn.
It's
right next to the peanut butter and jelly.
Why he has this fetus?
Huh?
Did he tell you why he has this fetus in the freezer?
They haven't decided what to do with it. You're buried it yet. They're procrastinating. And he's going to bury that jar pretty soon, he said. But for now, it's in the fridge.
Dom, I'm at a loss.
Yeah,
I'm at a loss, Dom.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Sharrell, I'm trying to tell you, sometimes you be like, well, let me interview this person. Sometimes I go and watch his because he don't care what he say. But he don't always get the answer. People still gonna lie to him. But if he stay consistent, they'll eventually just cough it up.
Yeah, I mean, the fetus, you can't get more open than that. That guy is,
That was
my
a highlight
God.
of my journalistic career.
So what did you do when he pulled it out? What did you say?
I honestly, like, I had my mouth open. I was like, sometimes I'll just look. I was like, okay, well, I ran out of, that was where I went to a real loss. I was like, I had no follow-up questions. I was like, there it is. Okay. Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do something with it soon. I was like, my mind went blank. I was like, I have no fetus jar refrigerator questions. I probably have more Whoopi Goldberg sweater questions. I was
Exactly.
like, yeah.
God.
But if you edit those two together, this is just quite a journalist. Yeah.
Everyone knows who you are. You're a huge hit on the reality TV shows. Now I get it. You've got to come back, will you? And wait, one more question. Are you really smoking those cigars? Is that a prop?
No, I'm smoking. Yeah, I'm smoking. I got this. I got a house where this is where my son and his mother lives, and then I got this little apartment. And just for an $800 security deposit, I could smoke as many as I want.
My God,
it's a really good deal. I was like, that's fine. I would have gave you $2,000.
Are bad for you, Dom, aren't they?
No, I'm not inhaling. No, in all honesty, it's not that bad because you don't inhale cigars. It's just the flavor. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I smoke meth, a little bit of meth.
He said just once a week, though. Once a week.
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
See, I love you. I'm just joking.
Oh my gosh, you've got to come back. I was going to have. Well, I'll talk to you after the show. You've got to come back, especially when I have good guests that I think that you will team up really good with. You are the best. Thank you, Perry, for bringing them on. I mean, love
Perry knows what's up.
Perry, do what he do.
All right, Dom. Thank you so much. You're the best. You've got to come back. Okay.
I'll be back.
Stay on the line. Don't hang up. Okay, you guys. If you don't know who Dom is, you know now. If you know anything about the reality shows that we watch, he's a name behind the scenes that we got to know. And hopefully he'll be back. All right, guys, let's say bye on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.